At Cornhusker Auto Center, bragging is not our style, but that doesn't mean our customers can't.
Great people, easy transaction, went out of their way to help. Thank you.
Amazing place to buy a vehicle. Great staff all around.
I would recommend Cornhusker Auto to anyone.
Timeout!
Welcome back to an episode of Timeout where we will be previewing championship week, and I know it's hard to believe. I know it was kind of hard for me to think about this. Also, this is the last episode of the fall sports season. 3 teams from the area will be advancing to the state championship games. We'll start off with Class C1 with Pierce taking on Adams Central in a battle of undefeated teams. You're thinking, holy cow, this is like the game, right? I mean, that's usually what you expect this time of year. Here's the thing though, Pierce drove the ball right down Adams Central's throat to begin the game. It was 20-0 at halftime, 40-7 in the third quarter, and then as if that wasn't enough, the Blue Jays got 2 touchdowns in a span of 8 seconds in the fourth quarter, including a scoop and score. Here's Pierce coach Mark Bramer.
68 sons, and I'm just really proud of the effort that they've shown, the commitment that they've shown, the dedication they've shown, and they fought through some adverse situations this year. We were beat up earlier in the year, and we had other guys step up and do the job to be able to keep the boat going.
Just how dominant Pierce was is pretty evident in some of the numbers. They scored touchdowns on 7 of their 11 possessions in the game. There was just 1 turnover in a fumble. There was 1 turnover on downs. And their other 2 possessions ended because, well, they had the ball at the end of the half. Carson Astrike led the way, 19 carries, 203 yards, 5 touchdowns. Here's what the senior running back had to say.
It means amazing, all the pride we have in our community and everybody before us. And now we finally get to make that dream come true that I had when I was a little kid and when they went to Memorial Stadium.
As a team, the Blue Jays ran the ball on 67 of its 68 offensive plays, 481 rushing yards, 10 Blue Jays with at least 1 carry. Brett Tinker led the way as far as carries, 27 carries for 143 yards. He had the other 2 Pierce touchdowns. Here's what the senior had to say.
This is the best feeling in the world. I couldn't imagine any other team. I love my team. This is awesome. It's just awesome.
How about them Blue Jays?
Also in Class C1, the story of C1 really had been the Wayne Blue Devils rallying off a pair of big-time upsets in the playoffs. Wahoo turned around, though, and the undefeated Warriors defeated the Blue Devils for the 2nd time this season, this time in the state semifinals. 21-7 final score, though. Wayne really making Wahoo work for everything they got. It'll be Wahoo against Pierce in a matchup of undefeated teams for the Class C1 title. Over in Class C2, we were talking about Pierce earlier, just how dominant they were. Well, Oakland-Craig just about matched them. Oakland-Craig has been dominant just as much this season, and it really continued against St. Paul in once again a battle of undefeated teams. Oakland-Craig led 22-0 in the first quarter, 38-13 at halftime. Oakland-Craig, the Knights heading back to Lincoln for the 2nd time in the last 5 years. Also in Class C2, Bancroft-Rosalie Lions Decatur hosting Sutton in the opposite semifinal. A pretty even matchup most of the way. Thing is though, a 98-yard touchdown run after a 4th down stop really turned the tide. Sutton knocked off BRLD, and the Mustangs will take on Oakland-Craig in the Class C2 final. Turning our attention over to the 8-man ranks, stop me if you've heard this one before. Falls City Sacred Heart against Humphrey St. Francis in the state playoffs. You should stop me because it's the 6th time in the last 8 seasons that these 2 teams played in the playoffs. And this one was a dandy. It didn't look like that early though. 2:45 left in the first quarter. The Flyers had just 22 yards of offense and they were down 8-0 after Sacred Heart really kind of run the ball right down their throat. Here's the thing though, St. Francis scored the next 4 times it had the ball. The only problem, they didn't convert any of the 2-point conversions, so they led 24-8 late in the third quarter. The visiting Irish got to within a score midway through the fourth quarter, and St. Francis started kind of struggling on offense. 2 punts around a fumble into the end zone. Falls City Sacred Heart got a chance with 1 minute, 3 seconds left and no timeouts. That was enough time for them to run 9 plays, get down to the 20-yard line, and here's what happened on the last play. Humphrey St. Francis holds on 24-16. Here's Coach Eric Kessler.
These guys, these seniors, when you have 8 seniors of our 22, and we had a heartbreaker last year, and this has been their goal. So we're super excited to get back there. We know we got more work to do, but just proud of them, and we'll enjoy it tonight and go back to work tomorrow.
Senior quarterback Trevor Pfeiffer with another big game. 25 carries, 164 yards, completed just 4 passes, but those went for 119 yards, including a 71-yard touchdown play. Here's the senior quarterback after the game.
It seriously doesn't seem real it does not seem real that we're going to be playing there, and it's what we've worked for since we were in 4th grade.
Look for a special state preview later this week. You'll only be able to get it in print or, like I've said before, that digital subscription. Trust me, if you're going like me and heading down to Lincoln next week, you'll spend at least as much on that digital subscription as you will on snacks for the road trip. This is, like I said, the last time out of the football season. Look for video recaps from Lincoln. I'm Nick Benish, and thanks for taking a time out all season with us.